It's political, baby.
We rolling. It's your boy, Reposado aka Freon Sanders, and you are now tuned into It's Fucking Political. To the left and to the right of me, I got some good people in the room, so if you next up, state your name and talk your shit.
Hey, you got Lanice in the building. I think that's probably the first time I said my name, a.k.a. Lenny G.
Denise, okay.
It's fucking political. Quincy Flatbush Furnish. We're here.
Tony Dre, 605, the author, book on Amazon, Dating is a Gamble, the illest content creator you ain't met yet. Gotta pass the ball on to actually introduce the guest.
Thank you. I'm Cassandra. Ask Miss Cassandra on Instagram, and I inspire men to create incredible memories with their loved ones. I'm a relationship coach.
Dating is a gamble?
Yes, sir.
We already started?
Yo, we're gonna get political. We're gonna get political.
Hey guys, I am Mac. I am a licensed black male therapist with a specialization in couples therapy, and it is my pleasure to be here among my people, ready to talk about dating and as a gamble.
Wait, bro. Wait to now.
We ain't even started yet.
Wait. Listen, I'm on Amazon. I'm 5 stars, bro. Let's go. Why you think I said let's get it?
I'm gonna buy it right now. I got you.
No problem. Appreciate it. You got Prime this there in 2 days for you.
Let's go. I mean, so y'all ready to get political with us or what?
Let's go, man.
Let's get it. So how's everybody doing? You know, most of all.
I'm good.
Good.
Everybody's good.
Chilling, dating, because it's a gamble.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Dating is
Punchlines.
Second promo.
Let's do it.
Dating is a gamble. I mean, so before we get started, can you guys give us a little background of the little background what you guys got going on and
Ladies first.
Okay. So I got a master's degree in social work,
okay.
and in that process, I realized that nothing really felt like home for me. And later on, through my relationship, my marriage, that did not go well. I married my high school sweetheart. We ended up separating and divorcing after 14 years. And I started researching because I was like, how did this happen? Like, we have years on us, we have history, been together since we was young, it doesn't make any sense. And I started to learn about feminine and masculine energy, and that's how I realized, this is probably why social work, traditional social work and therapy wasn't working for me, because there is no men's center. There is no men's room, talking about men's issues solely. And my passion is for men and their experience in love and life.
Nice.
Hey, now.
Okay.
Correct.
Teach me how to understand a man, sis.
Well, fun fact, men only want 2 things in a relationship. 2 simple things.
What's that?
More sex and less arguments. It's really that simple.
I can do that.
Fellas,
Yeah,
am I right or wrong?
You're right.
No, you're right. I mean, so you're saying with those 2 things, if we just master those 2 things in a relationship, everything else will go smooth.
Well, in order to have more sex and less argument, men need to learn how to show up better for their partners, how to earn that privilege of being a good listener, being available, and showing up for them how they need us to show up for them. The biggest issue is, I would say that us males, we were not built, well, allow me to reframe, we were not informed correctly on how to exist in a healthy relationship.
Okay.
So when we start dating and we do find our queen, there's a lot of unlearning that we have to do. There's a lot of mistakes that we tend to make before we start making the proper steps. But I am the cheat code. You come see me first. You bring her to me, you bring him to me, and I specialize in black love. Okay. I'm an evidence-based therapist, meaning that everything I'll be talking about is not a gamble. It has been proven and tested with over 40 years of research.
Okay, so I'm gonna state mine. I got a master's degree in bad relationships. I done fucked up, and I didn't go to no school to fuck up. I fucked up in the game, and I took a whole bunch of other fuck ups, and we sat down and we came up with all the things you need to find out before you get into the relationship.
Okay.
So I just want to let everybody know that my master's degree is not educatedly proven.
School of the hard knock.
Yeah, exactly. You can't find that shit on Google. But we out here, we helping people.
I got you.
But you kind of brought up something. You mentioned that men have to unlearn certain behaviors. So what you think is like the root of, you know, that problem that men don't know how to fully function and, you know, give that level, you know, to maintain these type of relationships?
That's a great question. So, I would say that society was built in a way that does not require men to be emotional or to be vulnerable or
Right.
to be aware of our emotions.
Okay.
And biologically speaking, our hormones are vastly different from women. With testosterone, we feel the need, like it's unconscious. Like we take space, not purposely, right? We learn in life that we need to be strong,
Right.
fit, and take as much space as possible so we're not targeted. We have this unconscious mindset of it's survival of the fittest.
Right.
But at work, we thrive off of that. We thrive off competition. We thrive off being the best, the top dog. But at home,
Yeah.
with our partner, she's like, nah, I don't want that.
So
I want you to be honest. How do you feel?
Right.
I've never been asked this question ever. Right? So at work or in the world, we have to be this specific alpha breadwinner mindset, but at home we have to be the complete opposite of that. And a lot of us don't know how to make that transition correctly.
Right.
the thing that, you know, obviously is actually the opposite side of what you just said is the fact that we do have a lot of men that are other things. They are beta, they are delta, they are sigma. So it's like there's a lot of different sequences of men that you may get. But I do feel that we all start off with a thought that does not actually get grown the same way as women do. I think that obviously women have
They're groomed.
They're groomed in their childhood, everything like Barbie and Ken.
Yeah.
They grow up seeing that, and they grow up dreaming about that actual picture perfect
Also
relationship.
biologically wired for that.
Yes. And I feel that men, we don't get that same thing.
That same treatment. Yeah.
It's looked at as being kind of feminine, almost, and it's like, oh, you being a sucker.
You just hit on something that we don't really talk about a lot, right? Women will want a man that can defend them. Hey, he touched me. Go defend me. Go use that anger to defend my honor. But later on, that anger becomes too much for them to deal with because of the other ways that it might show up.
Definitely.
Hey, at work, I need you to be the breadwinner and make as much money as possible. That requires you not to be in your emotions,
That's right.
but to be result driven. But eventually, it's like you're not showing me enough. You're not talking to me enough, right? There's this polarity of what's expected of men
Yes.
and women, and we just at some point we have to learn that balance. So when we get into relationships, you're asking me to express how I felt for the first time in my life. I'm not used to that. That's different for me. So in my therapy practice, by the third session, most of the black men are crying. Because it's the first time, like I'm giving them a list of emotions where they can put words to how they feel, right? That's powerful. Hey, I'm feeling neglected and invisible. Have you guys ever used those terms?
You see, not really, because I feel like I feel like so many issues when you, as a black man, when you try to, you know, show your vulnerable side and you use those words, because you know there's a lot of issues with, you know, black men saying, well, you know, going to therapy. I think people look at that as like, you know, as soft, you know, and if you could even express that vulnerability, like, you know, I don't think we get hurt, because it's like, you know, as a man, like you being vulnerable, like wow, like you're made to be tough. So why are you in this position right now, you know?
And guys are getting on both ends because in the same way that men are being conditioned to be strong, women are also conditioned to believe that men should be strong.
Right.
So the wrong woman or the woman who has not done her work is seeing a guy express emotions, and she might call him a simp.
Right.
She might
Exactly.
say the wrong thing at the wrong time that'll make him take that heart, throw it in the vault, lock the key, throw the key away. He don't know where it is, so he can't open it up.
True.
And he's not opening up ever again. That's a massive mistake. So I feel like we need it on both ends. I don't think that a lot of women, I think women are groomed for the idea of a relationship, but they're not groomed to handle a man's testosterone, if you will. I just don't think that we have enough of those conversations. Like, I was watching this YouTube of this guy who he was born a hermaphrodite, right? And so he literally had both like sexual organs and everything going on. So he could make a choice. And he decided to become a guy, like to go like live his life as a man. And pardon me if I'm not saying the jargon correctly, you know, I
Right.
don't want to offend anybody. But he decided to become a man. And one of the things that he said that stuck out to me was that he misses when he was on his hormone therapy, he was getting testosterone. So I started to look into testosterone a little bit more. And what testosterone provides is confidence, a great deal of strength and energy, bravado, and these are things that women we don't naturally have as much of it. So most women will get tired first, so we're operating on fatigue, and that's a nightmare for a conversation or to work in a relationship if it's tired. We don't feel as confident, so a lot of women will like poke at our bodies, everything is wrong. Whereas like y'all seen Cat Williams, he's like, if I got a big nose, I'd be like, shit, I got a big nose, what the fuck? But a girl is like, you know what I'm saying? It has to do with a hormonal difference that we have, and so what we need to learn how to do is not try to change the other person, but accept the other person by understanding our differences for compatibility versus conflict.
But also, like when a woman is looking for a partner, they're looking for someone that's confident, someone that can protect them, someone who's not too emotional.
Correct.
Right. Those are what they're drawn to, because it's correct. It speaks to this mindset that my offsprings will be well taken care of. 100%. If there's danger in place, you can defend me and defend us, and it's unconscious. The reason why most men go after women that are nicely built, right, nice glutes, thick thighs, it's for reproduction. The belief, like, you can carry my child and make it through those 9 months, but it's also unconscious. Right, so there's a lot that's happening behind the surface that we're not aware of.
Well, of course. I mean, in the animal kingdom, it's pretty much the exact same thing.
There you go.
Know, most animals, the female animal will choose the most strongest, most dominant one, to actually be their mate. And it's a level of them showing them where that is as they're actually coming along throughout their life, and they know that's the one.
Yes.
So obviously we do it subconsciously the same exact way. It's just that obviously we have more dialect, we have more mental capabilities of actually doing it, but we're doing the same exact thing that's already been broke down.
And most of the programming that you just spoke of happens in high school. In high school, it is when we shift. Because at home, we're able to express ourselves in most homes, right? We're able to cry. But in high school, now you got to survive without your parents, right? So when you're being bullied, are you going to cry and be made fun of, or are you going to defend yourself? Or are you going to use your anger or mask your true emotions so you can no longer be a target? Where do you fall within the ladder of authority in high school? Are you the popular kid that nobody wants to mess with? Or are you the simp that, they're punching you, they're kicking you, they can do whatever they want with you? Right? So high school, those 4 years, allows most men to determine how they are going to behave in society moving forward.
But do you feel that it's more so, because especially when we were in high school, we're still under the age, and obviously when you get older, there are more things to gravitate to, because obviously women are looking for the provider at that point in time. So now, some days that kid that got picked on, they may be the one that's like a computer tech now.
Yes.
And now they may still have the trait, but at the end of the day, they're still more valuable on the chart due to the fact that they're an earner now.
Correct. But that happens later on in life, right? Because at high school, by the time we graduate, we're 18. No one's making 100,000 or 60,000 then. Right. Then we go through college, that's 4 or 6 years. So around 24, 25, we are still trying to be as dominant as possible, right? We are still trying to portray ourselves as the alpha male. It's later on in life, when we're around our 30s and close to our 40s, where now the conversation changed. It's not that he's fly or he looks good or he has a great physique. Does he have a good career? What does his credit look like? Does he own any business? Can he provide for a family? right? So that's later on in life that the change happens,
Right.
unfortunately.
I do feel that obviously I think it's more rushed now, especially with this era, and they're learning a lot more at younger ages. I do feel that there's a level of actually knowing it a little bit faster due to the fact of social media and TV. But you know, I do also think that in high school, obviously, there's a level of being immature, no matter how much mature you are, because you don't know what you're looking for.
Right, yeah, you don't
and you
know.
don't know what you don't know at that point in time what your dating process is in
Right.
high school compared to what it's going to be when you get older, because it's constantly changing, and obviously, you know, at that age, there's somewhat of an excuse of why people don't know. So it makes it kind of weird to actually say that, and I still feel that there are some men that are comfortable
It's
taking
weird to say what part?
that, you know, the level of where it is in high school compared to when you date older, you know, we're kind of like saying there's an excuse for why you dated that way when you're younger.
Are you talking about men or women?
I think both of us together. I can't say that it's just one sided, because I think women
But
go through a
Do you
level.
think that has a lot
It's
to
a
do with the
natural
family?
process,
Do you feel like that has a lot to do with the family and the household that they're growing up in? And do you feel like that it is different for, you know, people that are coming from a 2-parent household versus a 1-parent household?
Yes, research shows that the first, I would say, 5 to 7 years determine exactly how you're going to operate within society, unless a lot of work is done to offset that.
Yeah, those formative years are extremely impressionable, and I'm not certain what you were driving at with the examples that you're giving in terms of high school and older life. I'm assuming you're meaning our reasons behind our picking, and you know, and the whys behind that, and you know, in the space of like adolescence and coming into your own and becoming you know an adult, there's still a becoming process, and in those environments, you know, your caretaker is still responsible for like majority of your life, and so it's really challenging to make the same kind of decisions at 18 that you would make at like 36.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's
I'm
understandable.
you're saying between the 14 to 18 range. Like, I don't think that we obviously know. We're still immature about what we're actually
Yes.
looking for 100%.
Still trying to figure it out.
And
But should you even be
but
thinking
I'm-
about that early on?
What's that?
Like thinking about like how, I guess, is that something that you feel like is crossing the mind of like someone
No.
that's between
No.
14 and 18? it's unconscious, like that's how you're gonna be and that's how you're gonna act, and that these formal years is gonna transition to how I am in adulthood.
It has an impact. So an example that Mac is using, and something that even Will Smith mentioned, is how are you choosing to show up in society or in those years can determine similarly how you might just continue to process. It might be your go-to, right? So with Will Smith, he uses humor to like work with tension. And when he was 18, 20, and he was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that worked. But sometimes those tools that we used to use when we were younger, they no longer work anymore. So now when he's a full-grown, fledged adult and he has grown children and a wife, you can't crack a joke all the time because that sucks the intimacy out the room. So now he had to go into therapy to learn new tools in order to be able to handle other emotions outside of his own, outside of his triggers. And what that looked like for him when he was talking to Aunt Viv on the Red Table Talk was like Aunt Viv was giving him some psychological punches. And I don't know if y'all caught that. But
I
she
saw
was-
the reunion thing when she was just telling him that she just wants
That
to
was
know
the
why
reunion?
he
You talking about
did
the-
what he did. No,
That's
she's talking about the Red
the
Table
Red
Talk.
Table.
I didn't see
She
that
was
though.
giving him some punches, and she wasn't being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't doing anything wrong, but just human behavior is really hard to get your character attacked and not want to defend. He didn't say nothing, and I was sitting there watching it like, this is crazy.
Well, he
And
ruined
he
her life,
later-
is what she was saying. Like, he ruined everything. Like, because I watched it recently,
said
and
that.
she
She
said
was
that
like,
on the
"You ruined my-"
reunion. She said she was like
Yeah.
she wanted to know why, like her
But,
why.
But Fresh Prince did that. Now,
Yeah,
with
and that's what he
Bobby
said.
Brown.
Right, exactly.
But here's the thing.
He
right?
said that though. He's like, I was and that's when that's
He
the way he
was
explained
Fresh
it
Prince.
on
He didn't have any
reunion.
children.
He didn't have any
Yes.
children. He didn't know
Yes.
anything. And at the time, she had just came off of having a baby
baby.
and being pregnant and stuff
And
like
the
that.
therapist that
Yeah.
was there asked him, like, how did you get through that? And not, like, defend yourself. Because even right now, we're saying he was Fresh Prince. He didn't even say that. He didn't defer to the fact that he was young. He didn't say any of that. And what he said blew my mind. And it's something that I even tell when I'm coaching my clients, it's something that I said. He said, I've learned that it's not my turn yet. I've learned that this is somebody else's story, this is their experience, and I've learned to sit there with that. That's called holding space in the coaching world. And these are one of the things that Mac is talking about in terms of when you hold space for somebody like that, it'll lead to the sex. It'll lead to the partnership that men crave. It'll lead to, no arguing. Because you can't argue with somebody who's not talking back at you. You can't argue with somebody who's not defending themselves. The argument just never happens.
Correct.
And we can't just expect women to know how to do that. And alternatively, we can't just expect guys to do that. But what tends to happen, because women are built for community and we're built to connect, a lot of times women will acquiesce, especially if it's an alpha male. If you're a beta male, maybe not, or you know what I'm saying? But if you're alpha male and you're a beta woman, you don't stand a chance against the alpha male. Like, at all. So you're just going to argue and argue and argue until the relationship dissolves. And what they'll think is happening is, the sex stop. You know what I'm saying? We argue all the time, but they're not thinking back. What's triggering the lack of sex? What's triggering? Because the issue is not the sex. The issue is not the constant arguing. The issue is, like, we don't learn how to hold space for one another and decide that in this relationship, there's room for the both of us.
What if I can ask the ladies a question, just to get a little more disparity involved? What's the number one thing that you guys look for in a partner currently? And I know you just got engaged. I'm blind right now. Brother man, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're going to be paying for that for the next 12 years. I know. I have to do the same thing too. You're grinding me right now, but congratulations. Black love, black love. Premarital therapy is a must.
Right,
But,
I heard.
we will talk about that later.
I'll holler at you.
Hold up, you're not by yourself. Just in case, I've been in a marriage and been divorced too. Didn't work out, so yes. So I think that sure enough, I should have did more of it when I had the chance.
Well, let's hear what the ladies
I
got to say
think
right now.
for me,
One thing.
one thing,
Number one.
the number one thing for me,
Yeah.
thoughtfulness.
Okay.
Say more about that, because you got the right answer, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
Mine is thoughtfulness. That is, I don't know, like not being predictable, like being a good ear to listen to, like not necessarily having to be like super duper combative every time I say something. I think that showing up and I don't know, for me, it could be, for me, my love language is quality time, words of affirmation. All of those are thoughtfulness. Like you figuring out like a way to spend time with me, even if you have a busy schedule, or you sending me maybe something like inspirational quotes or something like that in the morning. Just like for me, it's really the small things, like the things that I just need to hear.
So like all around respectable.
That's what it is. It's just thoughtfulness, like thinking about me. That's what it is. Like I just want you to just think about me, and it's
Put you first.
not even put me first. No. Think about. I think you know what thoughtfulness, because thoughtfulness to me, once you're dating me, you understand the type of woman that I am. For me, I work a lot, and I appreciate someone who values my time. You know, someone who is just like, you know what, she's probably going through a lot. Let me just say something, just a good morning. I hope you have a good day. That's the type of shit that I like. For me, like that's the number one thing I look is for. If you want to take me out on a date, don't ask me where I want to go. Just do it. You know, just get dressed, get ready, let's go. That's
Hold on a
thoughtfulness.
second. I'm just curious. What do the guys think about that? What she said? What's y'all's thoughts? Honestly, this is.
So hold on. You cannot comment back.
Yeah.
I want you guys to tell us, what do you think the number one thing that women look for in a man? The number one thing.
When they're first meeting a person, or
Just in general.
In general?
Yeah.
The primary thing.
I think certain people look for looks. Looks sometimes.
Looks.
Yeah.
I don't.
You
Okay.
think women go for looks?
No.
Yeah. Most times people look for looks, personality,
Attraction.
Well,
attraction.
okay.
Attraction.
But I'm going to give a different opinion, but obviously I am riding with him on that because the first thing you see is the person.
Okay.
The first thing you see is when they open up their mouth
You know,
and
now-
say something to you.
Yeah.
I think
A
In
relationship.
terms of a relationship, right?
women overall, they're looking for security.
Close. Good gamble.
I said it. You know what? But like that was my same thing too. Like I was saying, like a provider. You know.
Okay.
We don't all look for that.
I don't
though.
think right away.
No, I don't
No,
do that.
he's right. He's just the wrong term. not the wrong term, but
The
I'll
wrong word.
change
The
that.
wrong word.
Okay,
You want
so
a different
since-
phrase.
Since you guys just got engaged, I'm going to ask for a few. I'm going to ask a few questions, and you're gonna tell me yes or no.
Come on, slide on over into this microphone.
It's very political,
It's political.
and
It's
it's
about
not
to
a
get-
gamble.
It's about to get
I'm
political.
not in this, my voice is just moving.
I got you.
But
I
I'm
know.
here.
I
You
know.
can ask me.
And you too, please. Right. So, does he do the things that he said that he's going to do?
Yes.
Does he show up for you when you need him to show up for you?
Yes.
Does he make you feel safe?
Definitely.
And she's not lying. Hold on, sorry to cut you off, but she's not lying. It's not cap because she's here in front of me, but this is all facts though. I'm just going, this is
I
all
would have said no.
this is all motherfucking facts though. I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm done. Proceed.
do you believe in him?
Definitely. I think I'm his number one supporter.
Exactly.
Every day, all day. Since I met him.
Oh.
Do you trust him?
Yes.
And that's the answer right there.
That was it.
Trust.
Trust is a big thing.
You have to be trustworthy. And what does that mean? When I need you, are you gonna show up for me? When I just need a good morning from you, are you going to do that? If things are going bad, are you gonna step up and make sure that I feel safe? So it goes beyond attraction, right? Because I know a lot of good-looking guys that are single because women do not trust them.
I have a
They
question.
haven't earned that trust
Bow.
yet.
Let's go with that.
When you
Talk
first
to me.
Sir.
meet a person though, is it normal to at first not trust them? That's okay. And over time you build trust? Because I feel like sometimes you speak to men and they feel like if I didn't give you a reason to not trust me, why don't you? But for me, I can say from past experiences, it takes a little longer for me to really feel like, okay,
Correct.
I trust you.
Yes.
But
So I
is
feel
it,
like- I
but
feel
is it
like
also
you're-
fair to hold those past experiences for everybody though?
Man,
That's what we call therapy session.
No, I'm just trying to say like 'cause I just want to know.
I feel like your question, I feel like your question is both earthly and spiritual, right? And I think they get to be handled differently. I think sometimes people have a gut feeling, and I think you should trust it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's been research, there's been interviews of all types of people that said waking up in their own house, they felt a sickening feeling in their stomach.
Oh yeah.
And somebody was in their house, an intruder was in their house. There was nobody to know it, they didn't see it, they didn't hear anything.
That's fair.
You
That's
just
the womb.
know it. Yeah, you feel
That's
it
a
in
woman's
your
womb. Yeah.
Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you feel that feeling, that's something to not ignore.
And I think I'm the opposite of her because I don't trust you, not trust you until you give me a reason to.
Right.
I don't go into any situation of dating in any relationship telling someone that they have to earn my trust or making them feel like they have to earn my trust.
But
I'm
they
gonna
do.
trust them off a back.
But
I'm going to trust them off a back because
Yes.
I'm a little bit more open until they do something to make me not trust them.
yes, but you start with a certain level of trust, and as time goes by, and their behaviors show you whether or not you can really trust them
Exactly.
I usually
with
cut by the end.
everything that
They
you
usually
have to
clip
offer.
by the end.
Okay.
Right?
If I don't trust you, you clipped.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So now this is my thing.
Yes, Mr. Gamble.
What you doing?
Flatbush finest.
Wait.
Let's go.
You throwing a lot of jabs at my book now here, but I got something for you. All right, so
I'm
now
loving this battle right. I'm loving this
So
battle
now,
right now. I'm loving this battle though. I love it.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Most women don't look at trust the way you just said it. You lumped a lot of things in one. Most women only look at trust as if you going to cheat.
Sir, guess what? Once again, for the 500th time on this show, in 30 minutes, you're wrong again.
Oh shit! I love it.
No, hey, I'll take it.
The truth is, right, women are paying attention to the behaviors, and they're not even being cognizant that it's leading to trust, right? Do you open the car door for her? When you are walking, does she feel safe around you? Are you going to call when you say that you're going to call? Are you going to show up when you said that you were going to show up for her? So trust is a melting pot full of different spices that eventually lead to lust. To trust.
Changing up, but no doubt. All right. Keep going, my
about
man.
lust afterwards, right? But again, you had a great post on your
Yes.
page.
Yeah, one of the things that I said on my page is that every woman is looking for the lion and the lamb in her man, right? We're looking for both, and I think that's where a lot of guys get hemmed up at. The lamb part of it, they see that as a simp, and a lot of guys, they misinterpret that a lot when they're in a relationship. And what happens is they bring too much of that lying aspect. All she's getting is that aggression, that assertiveness, and we don't always want that in a relationship. And I got this idea from watching The Prince of Narnia. So there's a character, Aslan. He's a type of Christ. And when he's talking to Lucy, Lucy's a little girl. He's super tender with her. Understanding. She's mixing stuff up. He ain't yelling at her. But for the enemy's camp, that's when you see Aslan. I'm talking when he roared, I'm talking about the water was coming all the way up. Like the whole entire environment was changing. And see, a lot of times when a man is wrong in his home, he's changing the entire environment. And he's not understanding that part of it is him having to learn how to manage, how to hold space, like what we're talking about with Will Smith.
Yeah.
When a man can hold space for the feminine energy, he'll help her to relax. And that is key. A woman needs to be able to relax. Because otherwise what happens is now we're getting into fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. And that's where a lot of guys also get a little mixed up at. Because some guys will be like, yo, she said she's scared of me, but she talking to me like she a man. Yeah, because now she's in fight phase. She's afraid. Or sometimes guys might be like, yo, she said okay, she said she was good. She might be fawning. She might be posing as if she's okay because really what she wants is that peace, is that quiet. She's afraid. So we have to really study our partner and understand that people have different ways and different mechanisms to bring in peace into a relationship.
Correct. And that's why I always say that jealousy is actually a positive thing
Definitely.
in a relationship, not a negative thing at all. And the way you're looking at me, like, what the hell is this guy?
No.
talking about?
Let me let you know how I am. So, I'm a person that always sees glass half full and glass half empty. If there's a positive, there's a negative. There's a yin, there's a yang. So if you say that there is only this side, that's not possible in life because there has to be an even and an odd.
But you're looking at everything as black and white, opposed to being analytical. You're leading like it's only one thing or it's this thing, and in life you have to be analytical about things. You're only looking at it from two perspectives
Right,
when there is like more than two perspectives on everything.
Point exactly. That's making my point that means that it can't just be.
But you said half empty and half full. That's only
No.
two.
But you guys are focused on perspectives, but not realizing that we're not aware of a lot of things. So we not even bringing other perspective into certain things. Because we understand life through our point of view and through our experiences. But the reality is there's so much research and data that has been done that's given us the answers. We just have not had access to it. And that's where I come in, right? Because I've dedicated my life to use my privilege as a therapist to be part of certain rooms and certain entities where the research is done, the knowledge is there, the answers are there, right? We're just not privy to it because we're not part of that world. So again, like with jealousy, if you think about it, that's someone telling you, hey, whatever that's happening with this person is making me feel uncomfortable in my position within this relationship. Now the proper way to respond to that is say, you know what? Okay, cool. What is it that's happening that's making you feel uncomfortable, and how can I fix that? Too often we weaponize our partner's jealousy by saying, no, you're just jealous and you need to get over it. But in reality, that's saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this. I need more reassurance within my relationship. Make me feel safe again, right? So once we start to define certain things and have a different understanding of it, then we can start engaging in healthy relationships. Because the truth is, relationships are easy. Relationships are very simple. We're just very difficult because we're very selfish.
Well, obviously, if two people are helping to lift a couch, the couch can get moved easy. If it's only one person lifting the couch, it's going to be hard.
Right.
So obviously, there goes the actual simple way of actually putting it. So that means that both people got to give the same amount of energy to get the job done, right?
Same amount?
Well, balance.
I got you, yeah.
Balance.
Balance,
Because
yeah,
obviously, men and women are not 100% equal. You have some certain traits that I don't have. I have certain traits that you don't have. We mix together to make balance. So
Gotcha.
obviously, you know, it is a level of actually come into a mutual ground to understand if I'm coming with this energy to actually help on my side, you come with this energy to actually help on your side.
Nah, but
So y'all wanna
speaking
pour
on
into each
level
other.
of- Speaking of level of balance, now we had this topic. We was trying to, figure out like what's the importance of like maintaining, your happiness and maintaining your identity in a relationship.
Yo, that is the biggest thing that's gonna stop divorce rates from being so high.
Definitely.
Too often when we get into relationships, we assume the identity of the relationship.
Right.
We stop doing the things that we used to do.
That you used to do for
right?
yourself, right?
Continue to have your own social life. Continue to have your own friends. You dance salsa. Don't stop. Right? Because that's one of the reasons why I fell for you. When we have space, we allow desire to grow. But when we're always joined at the hip, we become bored of one another, and we can no longer create new eyes or allow that lust to exist because I'm not seeing you engaging in what made you who you are.
See, but I think sometimes it gets to the point where like you're in a relationship and you're so afraid to lose a person, or and
You conform?
Right, exactly. You're just like, you know what, I gotta be with this person 24/7, and I have to be what they want me to be. Just like if I want to be myself, then I may lose this person, or or this relationship may just go
That's
down.
not gonna make you keep the person either. So if you lose them, then you stay in resentment.
Right.
There was something that Matt touched upon before, and we're talking about like what women and men want. And when I did when I did my own personal research and surveyed a lot of men, I found out that I literally did like a word cloud and found out that the number one word that they use is partnership. And what that essentially means is like going along with the program. Even in like Christian culture, we talk about being one, and it just doesn't happen as soon as you get married. It's a becoming process.
Right.
There is an aspect of being on the same team. There is an aspect of oneness, right? What God has put together, let no man put asunder, let no man separate.
Right.
So yes, what makes relationships challenging is that there's a me and there's a we, and they both matter, but not at the expense of one another. And so you have to dance with that a little bit and figure it out, right? Like nobody can just tell you what that is. You have to kind of figure it out. It's no different than the kind of energy of like having the dream, the desire to like, yo, I want to get my PhD, right? You might have this desire, you dream about it, you think about it, you have good feelings about it. But when it's time for you to write that dissertation, you're under immense stress, right? There can be aspects of stress in a relationship when there's a lot of tension and dissension and a lot of tugging and fighting. But if you dance along with it and you communicate effectively, not just talking at each other, then you can figure out a way. I highly recommend for the feminine in particular, because men will do it naturally, right? Women are more likely to conform. Women are more likely to give in. And that is like toxic for feminine energy because she needs to flow, right? So women desire community, and as a result, whatever the community is doing, she'll begin to do that, right? But what she needs to do, what makes the man like long for her, is her living her best life.
Yep.
Is having that je ne sais quoi.
Yep.
Whatever that thing is that makes
Go
her
to
look
brunch
like she's
and come
filled
back
with life. You know
drunk.
what I'm saying? Yes. You know what I'm saying?
But do you feel
Yes.
like even the ones that are like that, I feel like I'm like that. I am shunned for being like that, like having my own individuality and wanting to do my own thing. I was dating someone and I told them that I go on solo vacations for my birthday. I spend it by myself. That's my thing. I go to another country and I spend it. They like, but when you in a relationship, you're not going to do that. Yes, I am.
That's
I'm going to
controlling.
continue to do that because that's who I am. I need that beginning of the year, that top of the year, that birthday for myself. And that's not the first time I've had an argument or had a issue with me wanting to be like that and to keep my individual, even the whole I won't live with you thing. I won't do that either until we're married.
Sometimes it's not only what you're saying, it's how you're saying, and maybe the tone of it too. And maybe the process.
He brought it up. He's like, oh, he's like, so now I can come with you. I was like, yeah, no, you can't.
Ask you one question.
Yeah.
Does your work let me think on how I'm going to phrase it. Does your work and all of the businesses that you run negatively impact? Do you work too much to have time to build a relationship?
No, because all of these businesses that I am running are new. I've been dating for a long time. This is something that is
I've been
new.
dating for a long time.
I've been dating for a long time, but
Okay.
I've always been like that as far as like wanting to do my own thing and wanting to travel on my own. These businesses and all this stuff honestly happened within the past 2 years. And the instance where I'm talking about is actually something that happened a couple years ago. So
Gotcha,
I don't think
okay.
that the business stops me from doing anything I want to do because I'm the boss. I make my own schedule. So I make time to do whatever I want to make
Can we
time
clap
for.
that, please? Let's go.
I can make time for anything.
So I was trying to assess whether or not you were experiencing a fear of intimacy. And what I meant by that is a lot of us are sabotaging our relationships and ensuring that we don't have healthy relationships but not even being aware of that. And one of the symptoms is Mr. or Miss way too busy. Yeah, I'm too
I do
busy.
that when I
got
don't
time.
like you. Like if I'm dating and I'm not interested, then I'll throw out that card. But I can make time for anything I want to make
Gotcha.
time
Okay.
for. And then usually that card will just send them alone their way. Like, oh, I'm just too busy right now.
I would just say to that, it's just one of those things that's unconventional, right? And so, kind of like how Mac touched upon reassuring the woman or whatever, like if something is broken or something is amiss, sometimes that reassurance helps. And sometimes it's not what's being done, it's how. It's the how, it's the process. And not to say that you have to do anything, but that might be one of those conversations that can't just be like thrown out there. That might be one of the conversations that get to be revisited over and over again with some massaging. Especially if you really like the person, by reassuring him like what is his thoughts about that, what does he think about that, what is his fears about that, and finding out what that means to him, because sometimes what happens, like Mac was touching upon in terms of like a lot that's going on in the background, people start to wonder like, well, like who's traveling by themselves? Like is she with somebody? It could be a whole bunch of things that's not even
Safety.
true.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, it's not even
as a
true.
man,
Yeah.
are you
I'll
safe like
compromise.
that?
Take me to the airport.
But you see, this also leads me for another question for the group. What percentage of difference, you're not allowed to answer, what percentage of issues or fights do you feel like a couple need to solve in order to be happy?
What percentage?
What percentage?
Out
Out
of
of
100.
100%, Mr. Gamble,
Jesus.
what percentage do you think that people need to solve?
Look, that's what happens when you actually purchase and you ain't ready yet. But he's helping paying for these assets. So I love that. He can go as much as he wants. He's a purchasing customer. I believe in the easy
You
E
said what
theory.
percentage
Yes.
Out of 100.
that needs to be argued and talked about?
Of conflict
No,
that needs to be
needs to
resolved?
To
solve.
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 What percentage of your differences do you think that you guys are gonna have to solve?
In order to
Be
have a
happy
successful relationship.
and live forever after.
I think maybe can that question be situational based? Because I think like
No, just a number. Just throw it
it's a
in.
Yeah,
number
but it can't-
75.
75, okay.
I'm gonna say 70.
70.
80%.
80%. Mr. Gamble, what is your gamble?
Where we going with
Give me,
gambling?
And if
once
you're
again-
right, I'll buy $5.
Look, guess what? Just like a relationship, it ain't about who's right and who's wrong. We trying to get to actual solve the problem. We to move forward. So, I'm gonna keep you over there. Of a percentage of our problems that we need to solve.
Yes, sir.
I got questions, but
Just give a number.
I say roughly. I'm with the 75.
Okay.
75.
My lady.
I say 50.
Ooh, she's actually the closest. And the answer is
30.
30?
Yeah.
30?
I think it was
31.
so high.
Okay,
31%.
31%.
You know why? Because you can only solve 31%. The remaining 69% needs to be managed and needs to be compromised.
Yeah.
So traveling is something that can be solved. But due to the fact that it's meant something so different to you, then you need to have multiple convos and find an agreement that works with both parties.
Communication.
Meaning that, hey, I want to go alone. That's what you want. But he feels that, hey, I want to be with you. So where can we meet in the middle? How can you accommodate, right?
You can come that
You
the
should-
second half of the trip.
There you go,
Okay.
right? You should never say no to your partner
I can do
for
that.
anything.
Period.
Yeah.
Never
I can
say
do that.
Okay.
You can come for the second half.
Sex included.
Everything is yours.
Sex
I'm loving it.
included.
All right, so
Wait,
whoever
you gonna clap now?
whoever.
Oh, I'm always ready. Yeah, I never say no to sex. Ever.
Because that's a form of rejection.
Absolutely.
And your partner
Yeah.
should never feel rejected in your relationship. So move away from there and say, exactly, how can I accommodate to you? I may not be able to give you 100%, but I can give you 60%. That's better than 0%.
But look, all right, being that you brought that up about the whole, me go a little left field, you brought up about the whole, you should never say no to sex. So why is it that you feel guys and or men and females get into position, where they cheat?
Because they're being told no.
So
Maybe.
so,
I'm like, maybe.
Probably not.
Okay, fair.
flow.
Sir, what would you say?
Well,
There's no
all right.
say, yeah.
So I'm giving y'all a little bit more than what y'all supposed to, because part two and part 3 ain't hit yet. But
Talk, Draymond.
I'm gonna say that people cheat for different reasons, and I say
Okay.
that there's three people in the world when it comes down to actually dealing with somebody in a relationship. You got the person that's probably just gonna cheat because they ain't shit. You got the person that's probably gonna cheat because there is problems in the relationship.
Okay.
And then you got the person that's just gonna deal with it. They're not gonna cheat because that is not in their character. They're not gonna do it. Now you got those three people. Who are you dating?
He's actually right.
Okay.
But-
And that's my own theory. So that's not in his studies. He didn't learn that in school. He learned that from me.
But I'm gonna
go,
add some
Draymond.
context to it. Great job, man. Great job. So you're 1 for 20 right now. Good job.
Guess what? I missed the big shot. I hit that last one and get the game over with.
So
go,
the
Draymond.
truth is, 70% of people that cheat do not cheat because they desire sex. If they cheat
They're insecure?
because there's an emotional need in the relationship that is not being met, which was your person number two. There's something in the relationship that they are not receiving, right? Whether that's I'm being vulnerable, but you're not responding to it correctly. You're saying man up, or you're not holding the space for me to express myself. So I'm gonna look outside of the relationship and find someone that's going to listen to me. And on the other hand, it could be you're not giving me enough quality time. You're not thinking of me. You're not being thoughtful, right? You haven't sent me flowers in 20 years. Now, someone else
Damn.
is sending me flowers. And
Shit.
I have a couple that's been married for 50 years, and she got flowers once.
Once?
Roses.
What?
Once.
In the entire marriage?
In the entire marriage.
No, that's crazy.
Once.
No, come on. Once?
But-
His homework was to go buy flowers today.
Now, wait.
And buy fucking 50 of them.
Side note. I want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
But is there? I mean, he is 100% wrong. Especially if that's something that he knows that his mates
Correct.
wants, he's 100% wrong. But are there other things that she came with that said that he does do for me?
Yes. However, you have to understand what fills up my cup, right? You could cook. Well, I will use myself as example. I need you to touch me and I need you to feed me. I don't need nothing else. You could take me on vacation. You could buy me Gucci this, Louis this. That shit don't matter to me. If you didn't touch me and you didn't feed me, I don't feel loved, right? So I'm very simple. My wife, I need gifts, I need attention, I need words of affirmation. So I gotta ensure that what I'm giving her, I'm meeting those needs. So for that couple, right, that I've had for a very long time, flowers is what spoke to her. Right? Yes, you're paying the bills and everything else is taken care of, but that's not what I need. I told you what I need, you're just not paying attention to me. So what else is he not paying attention to? What else in the relationship is he overlooking and doing what's comfortable for him versus what I actually need?
Okay,
And
so
that's actually the number one response that I find men give when I'm doing my sessions. Is if she says that if she brings something to the table that she needs, he busts out the scroll of everything else that he does.
That he does.
As though everything that
just
he
listening
feels that
to what she
he's doing compensates or should trump the thing. So it's like I do all these things because I missed this one thing, but that is the thing that she's really requesting. So when I'm having my sessions, I talk a lot about the things that you do that makes you feel like you're a good man, because that's important. And every man has that structure built inside of him. These
Provider,
are the things that I
protector.
need to do so that when I close my eyes for the last time, I feel like I died a good man. Every man has that. At the same time, we need to balance that out and create a win-win when we're managing requests. And that's why when we were originally talking, and she was describing things that she wanted, I wanted to kind of get what the guys think about it, because in my experience working with men is that they feel like women want a lot. And in my experience working with men's experience in being in a relationship with women is two things that I found out like literally recently, like blew my whole way back, which is one, women want an abundance. Like they said, a lot of men feel like they cannot handle what women want, and two, they feel like women when they express what they want, it sounds in their ear as a man that they are ungrateful.
You just baffled him too, because now you see him going to his goatee.
no.
Because
like
that's
Louis
your
Style.
energy too, though.
He's
So,
man,
yeah.
but
What she
yeah, I
said-
was kind of thinking that too. No,
But you know, I feel like that is man's energy. That's your energy for sure. Like,
Why the fuck?
No,
why
but
the
you
fuck
kinda
you worrying
said
about my
that-
energy?
well,
No,
no, I'm just saying that is your energy for sure. To like oppose, like if someone's telling you what they want, you're gonna say, "But I do this instead." That is totally your energy.
Stop studying my energy. I ain't even with you. First of
like
all,
you
let's say
know.
like, don't worry about my energy.
That is your
Worry
energy,
about
though.
yo dude energy, and I'm
But that is your energy because we've had a conversation like that before. That's your
guys-
energy.
Allegedly, we had conversations like that. I don't fuck with her, but pass the juice. I need my drink now.
I'm not
Like,
saying you
gonna
fuck
do
with
me
me.
off.
I'm just saying that is your energy.
No,
your
no, no,
energy
I need my
is
juice.
to
I need
say.
I need juice.
And that,
I wish I
I'm
had
just
some.
saying that
I
I've
wish I had some
witnessed
teeth for
it.
that
I've
one.
witnessed the energy. If you're talking to a guy and
It's
you're
getting
telling them,
political,
particularly
that
this
right
guy,
there.
what you want and need from man, the rebuttal is, well, I do this, 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 and this, and this, and this.
That's very common.
It's very common. That's all I'm saying. I'm
She
saying
talking
that.
about her man. That ain't me.
I've heard you do it.
That is called attunement. Attunement means I'm attuning to my partner's needs and emotions.
And we ain't partners.
I never said we were partners. I'm just saying that that's your energy.
Yes. So
this is a
it's-
whole other episode.
Like, what?
Y'all gotta tone it.
Yeah, it's this idea that we're so connected as you guys are, that I already know what you need and what you want, and at times I don't need you to tell me. I just know
That's
it
the
and
juice.
I fulfill that need.
That's the juice.
Right? So when she said I want flowers, I already wrote it down on my phone to tomorrow when I come back. I'm gonna bring you flowers from now on because I know that's what you want. I'm giving you the attention. I'm meeting your needs, and we're connecting. So I'm always aware on the pulse of the relationship.
So I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So now,
You got a lot of questions, man.
yeah, of course.
You might have to set up a session. Like, come on, man. I don't work for free.
It'd be your own money going right back into your pocket. Good looking to support black business.
Amen.
So now, like you said that they've been coming to you for a while, let alone they've been together for so many years. What was her breaking point? Because obviously she didn't have one because she said it was 20 years ago when she got flowers. So I'm assuming that the love is still there. It's just the fact that
Love
she
is
will
not
not leave. She's not going to leave him. But obviously,
She left.
she did leave after many years.
Yes.
Wait, that same client you talking about with the flowers?
Yes, she left.
So she
And now they're
left.
trying to come back together?
No.
Oh, no,
But
they're
what-
not.
The session ended, right? Like we did our sessions, and at the end of the session, she determined that this is not the person that she can no longer be with.
After 50 years?
Correct. You know why?
Because of flowers.
It's
It's
the-
bigger.
Because her
than-
needs
it has
wasn't
to be
met.
bigger than
the
the flowers.
flowers are
Bigger
a
than-
representation. Like
Of
if you
how
can
things
even
have
hear that I want flowers when we're having sex and I'm telling you I need this, are you going to hear me too? Right? It's the idea that you're not paying attention to me, you're not hearing me, and you're not creating a space for me where I feel like I can even be honest about my emotions and my needs. You're on autopilot.
There we
I
go.
need you to get off of that and go on manual mode.
That's why at
Ooh, I
first,
hear that.
although
Give me some.
I hear that.
Although
not a gamble.
Although Mac will use the term trust, in my coaching sessions I talk about the number one thing that a woman needs is a man to be present, which embodies trust, right? Because it requires, and for somebody to have trust, you have to be present, right? Like you have to be attuned to what's going on, you have to be paying attention. That's the number one thing that a woman needs, is to experience a man being present. And the number one thing that the masculine needs is to separate himself. Men need time, they need space, they need to disconnect, they need to detach. It's a need, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It is a must.
So you're saying space from what though? You're saying like detached from what?
Work, a life, children, family, anything. They
So
need
we need
to
our
dissociate.
alone time to
You
just.
need
Mhm.
in the form of sports, basketball, playing video games, fishing, swimming. It doesn't matter.
Working out.
You need.
You know what I'm saying? I will not work out with my wife no matter how much she tries. This is
Yes.
my time.
Yes.
No, I ain't gonna lie.
It's
Yeah,
a-
you need
it's
that
a
time for
must.
yourself. though.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. You need that
I
time.
love how there's this juxtaposition between the feminine and the masculine, because the number one thing that she craves all the time, she can't get enough of it, is you. So this is the part where we get to compromise. This is the part where we get to, if we don't understand a thing, we'll seek to change a thing. If a woman doesn't understand that a man needs separation and space, she's going to seek to change it by overly expressing her need for connection. She's not wrong, but she's also not making an allowance for his need.
So how do you,
let me-
how do you resolve that? Like, how do you make her
Communication.
feel right?
Mac touched on it. You guys, those are one of the things where it's going to require more than one conversation. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So listen, baby, you know what? I could definitely work out with you. I know you want to change your body, but when I work out, like, this is my time. So
I want to do me, right?
Yeah, you just want to say it in a way.
So you don't feel that at some point in
That's-
time that you have to actually have a moment, build a space for y'all both to actually do it together, even though you may have a bigger percentage of having your own time. But I mean, me myself in a relationship, I want my spouse to actually at some points in times butt in on that time. I mean, obviously I want my own time to do it, but myself, this is just me. I want my spouse to actually interact with my workout sometimes. It may not be a large percentage of it, but at least give or take,
Record me.
you know, 30.
But we
Let's
just
do
find
cardio
I'm not
together.
conceited like you,
working out together.
you know, but like work out together. Like I want like 30% of I guess my workout, I would want my spouse to be there, especially
there.
due to the fact that that's
Motivate you.
something that's my interest, motivation, let alone it'll be a confidence builder actually seeing my wife there with me and interacting with me.
And that's,
Lust.
and that's
Does
okay,
lust.
and it's okay to not
That's true.
have that.
Yeah.
It's okay. See, that's beautiful, but there's gonna be something that you may not need her there for. That might matter to another person.
Yeah.
The idea is that there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no good, there's no bad. It's just a matter of preference and allowing that person to be themselves, and allowing that person to have that. Like somebody might just want to be able to rock out and play music and listen to music off full blast. Sometimes guys, they're watching sports. Like, I don't understand sports no matter how many times you explain it to me, but sometimes my man, he might just really just want me right there. Just sit right, you don't have to say
Yeah.
nothing, just scream when I start yelling. Just
Don't
yell
talk.
when I yell.
Yeah.
And that means something for him, but I don't have to, like, be part of it. Like, I don't have to be like, oh, he doesn't always need that, and it's okay, versus me going off. But those are the things that what happens is like, say as an example, right? And we always see this play out on social media or the TV or whatever, right? The guy wants to watch the sports, and she's walking right in front of the TV, or she's trying to get his attention. She's doing all of these things or whatever, right? So there's a dialogue going on in his mind, like, why is she doing this? Like, I'm annoyed. Like, maybe he's trying to be nice. And in her mind, she's like, I want some attention. He's choosing sports over me. They're not having this conversation together, but it's going on in the background of their mind, and we're treating those feelings and those thoughts as a fact. So
Yes.
she's going to treat him like, you're putting sports before me. That's not true.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But she's going to treat him like that, and he going to treat her like, yo, you're being mad annoying.
Yes.
Right,
And-
but then she gonna put the guilt trip on them, which is crazy. So that's like that's unfair.
You
It is
trying to tell
unfair.
us something?
So
Right.
No.
okay, so wait, I want to know.
if I can add a little bit more clarity to that, right?
Yes, please.
The goal is to not find someone that likes the things that you like, right? Because if that's the case, you might as well just date yourself. The goal is to find someone that you enjoy spending time with, which you spoke of, and that was correct. So in regards to the sports game, I like sports. My wife does not, right? But in order to give her the quality time and my desire to watch the game, is that I will make the popcorn, she'll sit right next to me, I will rub her feet, she's on her phone or she's reading, and I'm watching the game.
Right.
Like there are instances where you can create a positive experience.
Yeah.
But the gym, bro, I'm a therapist.
That's
All
your time.
day
That's your time.
people are talking to me, I gotta hear everybody's stories, and I'm
gym is
grateful.
all you. You want the
The
gym for
gym,
yourself.
I got my
It's your time.
headphones on, the lion comes out, you know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm
no,
trying
no.
to demolish these weights. I don't want no hug. I don't want to hear this or that. Like
Nah, I feel you.
that's my
Domain.
demolish
Good time.
mode. Feel
Right,
me?
right.
So I can't be a partner at that time period, and
Yeah.
she knows that. So how did we solve that? I got her a trainer.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not gonna train you because I need to focus on myself
On your
at
training.
that time period. She has a trainer, and we do cardio together. So this way, like both of the needs are met.
So I have a
Okay.
question.
See, I can throw a jab
So-
in there right now, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you
Wait,
rock it.
so I have
Because
a
he does have a
question.
gym
Shoot
partner. He has a homeboy that he rocks with, that he come to the gym with, so he play partner there. But you know, we ain't gonna call him out on that. You know,
Got
shade
time,
but
got
no
time.
shade.
Got
But
Okay,
you know,
so okay, with all of the, the relationship advice and stuff like that that's happening, how do you even get to that stage. So I guess I'm wondering about that courting and that dating phase. What are the compromises at that time? Like, what are the questions that you need to be asking at that time? Because you guys have not actually graduated to being in a relationship yet. So a lot of the tools and stuff that you guys are giving us is something that happens once you're already there. What are the things that needs to happen before it gets there so that you can end in a relationship? Because you want to date and stuff like that, but you don't want to waste your time. And then that happens a lot. You're dating, you waste your time. And then, oh, this person did that. What are the tools and where is the compromise and what needs to happen before you're actually full on, this is my man, this is my woman, we're going to build in this relationship together?
For me, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you have more like science stuff. For me personally, as a rule of thumb, for me, and I'm speaking on experience and things that I share with my clients, is seek to find and be their friend first. Understand their world first.
Friendship first, relationship
Like
second.
literally, game changer. Because I feel like this is an opinion, right? And this is just observation, right? Is that once the titles, I think that's why a lot of people don't like titles. Once the titles get thrown, there comes the element of control, and this is what I need.
Expectations.
When you have your expectations. However, when you really understand your partner as a friend and you understand their world and how it works, that gives you compassion and an abundance of grace, understanding, and it helps the relationship to move along. So, as an example, right? You meet this guy, and he already knows, as friends, that you like to travel alone. And that's not something that you're about to change. And he decides, you know what, I really like her. I really want this to go further. I'm going to tell her how I feel. And he says, like, I want more. I want an exclusive relationship with you. You think he's going to try to change your mind about you going away on your trips?
I would hope not.
Most likely not. If he's a friend, most likely not. Because part of that the opportunity of getting to know your world, he may throw in even before he starts to date you. So what if your man wants to go on a trip with you? What if this? What if that? He'll be, and if he's a healthy man, he won't seek to change you. Mm-hmm. He'll seek to perhaps compromise or find out if there's compromise and see what can happen. And you never know. Over time, as you're in this relationship, you might grow such a bond with him that you'll crave him even on your trips. And that once upon a time, where nobody else could go there, you wouldn't dream of going alone again. Because that happens organically.
I love that. I'm going to go on the record and say that the dating world was created by men for men. Meaning the dating world was created for men to prosper and for women to be oppressed. So if women want to get better results as they have been receiving, they need to unlearn everything that they have experienced in the dating world. The number one thing that most women need to do is they need to start multi-dating because that's what men do.
Yes.
Right?
Finally, somebody don't shun me for
Please.
that. Thank you.
Do not just date one person, because when you date one person, you start to build those attachments, right? Yeah. Correct. You start to overlook these red flags because that's the only person that you're talking to that's giving you attention or that's attempting to fill your cup. When you're dating, let's say 10 people, when one does something that's a red flag to you, you can easily walk away as opposed to remaining put and making an excuse to what they do.
A couple episodes ago, I was called a scumbag for doing that.
Who said that, him?
Somebody in this room said
Who said that? Who said that?
Somebody called me scumbag Lenny because I talked about dating multiple men. I have a list in my phone of the men that I was dating. And then I would write down notes and stuff like that. And I was writing my notes I was talking about. And somebody in this room told me that I was a fucking scumbag.
Now, it was one person that said, I agreed that was something women need to start doing. Because I think that is a plus that women
said it too.
date.
Hold on, I said it.
You was like scumbag
I don't
Lenny.
know. I don't know what the actual number of men, but more than 3 at one point in time.
Yeah, you got watched it
actually
recently.
see.
And I'm like, damn.
I say 10.
You was like, no.
I don't know if a woman has enough energy for 10 or either has
I
enough
do.
stomach because
so 10 is
most.
cool?
But here goes the thing.
10.
I get, and I'm with that. My list got 10,
So
and I just take them off.
Dating 10 guys at a time.
Then we for the
We had
streets.
Because by week 1 and 2, 3 of them are going to
Exactly.
drop.
So 10 is fine.
I cannot manage that personally.
See,
Yes.
exactly.
I
A
can
lot of
manage
women
like
can't
7,
manage that.
but I feel like I've had 10 at a time. But then, like I said, like he just said, they kind of
They rotate.
and then they go away, and then one comes back and one go away. So like,
just like one drop out, then you bring.
but y'all laughing.
So
It's like only the strong will survive.
Exactly.
Let me give the right one.
But then when we do
We'll
that,
stay
we're
the
for
course.
the streets. And I even had a guy and I'm very open and honest about it too. Like, I am dating more than one person. And then when I have, disclosure information, now I don't do it. Now I don't say shit. But when I used to be more transparent about it, it's like, are you talking to
you
other people?
shouldn't.
I
should
don't
be
want you to.
You should
I don't
be
want you to.
transparent.
I'm good then if
guess
you talking
what?
to somebody. And I'm like, but I'm not with the relationship then.
You don't gotta explain yourself.
Wait.
Goodbye.
Exactly. Let the
Simple.
man make his decision.
But
He
I was
has
just trying to
all
be
right to say that
transparent.
he doesn't want you for whatever reason. He doesn't want you. But guess what? At the end of the day, I can move on to the next guy the same way. That's my option.
Yeah.
And
Disagree.
and I think a lot of people need to understand that in this dating world, I have all right to say what I want to give
I
you.
feel like
and what
I can
don't
say it to
wanna
the
give
ones that
you.
I'm friends with, like the
And,
ones that I really like
you
building
know,
that friendship with. I can tell them that I'm dating other ones. Newer ones that may not necessarily I
Agreed.
built that friendship with, I can't tell them because they get standoffish about it. But the
Yes.
friends
That
are the
ego
ones.
But
is
the
so
minute you
big.
do that,
No, that's not
you're
true.
welcoming in whatever they want to hold off on their side of the table. So now that's how you
That's
get the men that say, I'm not going to tell you that I'm married. And they're coming there with the wrong, because guess what? They feel that once you let one go, everything has to go. Be transparent. Tell them this is what I'm doing. So you don't, because if you see me on another date, you
You
won't
already
feel
know.
you won't feel no type of way.
I think it's
You know
safe
that
to
I'm
say
dating somebody else.
Or we're dating. I think that's fair. I just don't think that. I think it's important. I think it's just something to do with taste. I'll say that because it's just we're having as a matter of fact, conversation. To me, it just occurs as blunt. But I would say, personally, for me, when I was dating a lot, I didn't say, "Hey, I'm dating people," or what. I just say, I'm just talking to you. We're just.
But what if
talking.
someone like directly asks you? You can't.
Okay.
I can't lie about it, and that's
No,
usually what I get. Like,
No,
so why are you?
lie.
So you single? Are you single? You're not talking to nobody? Well, yeah, actually, I am. I
You're
am
dating.
dating.
That's
Once
fair.
again, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with my 3 people rule.
Uh-huh.
You got the one that's gonna lie, the one that's gonna sit there and not say nothing, and you got the one that's gonna keep it real.
Right.
Choose which one you gonna be.
Right.
I'm the one that keeps it real. But
like
then
that.
I think that by me keeping it too real, it can be intimidating for some.
All
I would
right.
say if
but
somebody,
it
if
can
somebody
backfire.
asks you a direct question and you give them a direct response and they ruffle their feathers, that is a red flag.
Yes.
Right? And so you've gotten what you needed out of that conversation, which is for them to expose themselves and excuse themselves, which is totally fine.
Expose and excuse.
Yeah.
Let me write
I
that
just-
down.
I would just steer clear of, because there's so much relationship information going out and people are like literally putting their hand in a bag and pulling something out and just trying it. We do want to practice a level of decorum, a level of tact, a level of, what I'm saying?
Artistry.
How are you
Expose and
communicating? How are you saying certain
excuse.
things? So I don't recommend that you just like, I'm dating a
See,
lot
no,
of
I
people.
don't. I
Yeah,
don't say
you
nothing.
know?
But if someone asks me a question, I'm going
Yes,
to answer the
be
question.
transparent,
But
honest,
you can be
100%.
exposed and
but
excused.
again,
Yes.
that speaks to them and not you.
Correct.
If I tell you that I'm dating other people and you
Just
feel
jealousy right
attacked
away and-
or you're so jealous
And you just met me.
or you just have this idea or that I'm for
Six
I'm
Flags.
for the streets,
I don't
Right,
get
right.
that speaks to you, not me.
And guess what? And in the streets, I got these other people that I'm dating, so I'm gonna go see them.
Wow.
And just leave it at that.
See, but I just feel like maybe it's to the point where they may want to build something with you, or they may they may look at you a certain way, they may hold you in a certain standard.
And then they'll tell you to cut the rest of them off. Because now the ones who've done that, I'm
I've
like,
not
or
heard
I'll
that.
be like, I've had guys where I was transparent, and then they'll tell me they was like, well, you about to get rid of them. I'm about to put in work. And I'm like, that's the energy I need. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely will.
Right.
If you're putting in the work.
because they want to be that one.
Survival of the
he
fittest.
wants to. I know he wants
They
to.
feel that
Survival of the
being that
fittest.
she has so
Come
many,
on.
it's just like, well, why should I
Yes.
fight to be that
That
one
is
if you
correct.
got so many?
That is correct.
Why should I put in
That
my
is your
effort?
That
choice.
is
Why?
correct. That is
That-
correct.
But then that's something. But if I just met you, though, how you know that you're not the one? How you know that you can't stop me from being with these ones? It's like, to me, it's just so weak-minded. It's just like, all right, well, she got somebody else. I'm moving on. But, like, you never know what this could have been because you're too worried about the next man, worried about yourself.
But I
Point
feel,
exactly.
but I feel like he's saying like, well, how could you see I'm the one if you
Change
worried
my
about-
mind.
If you
No,
worried
no,
about
no.
everyone else,
He's
though.
also dating
It's-
other women.
Women
Cause-
too,
Cause
yeah.
men don't just date, don't just talk to one woman.
No, that's
fact.
that's a
That's
fact. No,
That's
but
a
this,
fact.
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So I'm not supposed to do what you're
the same
doing.
thing. We're doing
I'm
the
not
same
supposed to do what
thing.
you're doing.
I just can't
That's a
accept it.
No. They absolutely
Yes,
don't.
most men are dating.
They're
We
talking
already
with
Stop,
been
women.
don't take
women.
this personal.
Yeah, we already been.
No.
Don't take
No,
this
wait,
personal.
hold on. No, wait,
What we
wait,
telling
wait,
you?
wait a
But
second.
But there's a lot of women that
So,
take
so wait a
advantage
second.
of
Wait
this
a
situation.
minute.
I was just about to say. Go ahead.
A lot of women are doing this in the wrong way, and we know that there are a lot of group of women on the negative side that they're looking for free food,
Exactly.
looking for bomb ass dates,
Exactly.
or
Right.
either some of them are looking for
Right,
places
right.
New
to
York
take
girls.
somebody else,
Yup.
Right, exactly.
or
saying
either
it. Because
tell
everybody not
somebody
like
else
that.
to take them.
You just want to show your friends,
You know,
oh, I'm over here with him.
There's some people that's doing
Faithfully.
it for social
Right.
media.
That's
Yeah.
why I said,
They
like,
do-
having that conversation very early on without somebody really getting to know your character can be misinterpreted very quickly. Because there's an energy, as I said, on social media, people are putting their hand in the bag, they're just trying things out. When a woman is in a relationship and she feels she's giving it her all, and she finds out that these other girls are in no committed relationship, getting bags, going on dates, going on trips, getting all these things, it causes a mind shift in like what I can get. So now women start to think like, yo, I'm not about to give anything unless I get. And so if a man asks a woman a question, or if she just offers it up and says, yes, I'm dating, he's going to be under the assumption, oh, you about to have me on rotation. Like, you're about to have me on
Right.
intentional rotation.
Right.
Yup.
And that makes me feel uncomfortable, and that's okay.
But
for me
that's
to
a
feel
better.
uncomfortable.
I think that's a better answer than giving them the number, because when you give them the number, that gives
Yeah.
more. That gives more incentive on what is happening. If you sell somebody that I am dating, that means that you can be dating somebody else or be
I'm
multiple
figuring things
people.
out. I'm
But,
figuring
like-
things out. You know, I'm just trying to figure out what it is that I want.
I'm not okay with that answer. Because
What?
if I see you on another date, like, I'm gonna feel some.
But at least you
some
knew.
type of way. No,
At least
no.
you knew.
If you just say I'm figuring it out,
As opposed
versus
to a number.
I am dating others, right? You
There's
don't
nothing
gotta
wrong with
give
that.
a number, but
Right.
let
Yeah.
me know exactly where I stand, and what's happening, so I can make an informed decision.
And that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
'Cause instead,
I
you're
think
making me feel like, like, okay, well, it's just me and you, and I'm gonna put my effort into you. But meanwhile, you got Billy, John, Bob, and
You got
it's like,
options. You got
yeah,
options.
you got
That's
to
what people,
Yeah.
that's what people have to, as she said, that's what people have to realize, or men have to realize what their personal choice is and stand firm in that 10 toes down, right? So if you choose to give your all to him because you're that interested in it, that cannot be on the pretense that there's nobody else around. That has to be on the deciding factor that I feel that she's worth it. You know what I'm saying? And then she has to then decide that there's no one else around that can fill his shoes. You know what I'm saying? That is two separate experiences happening with two independent thoughts before there becomes a one son. And a lot of times what happens is that women get trapped into the girlfriend trap, so to speak, in terms of like, yeah, I'm his girl, we doing this, that, and the third. And the guy's like, I never really said that.
Well, wait. But
why is it their decision though?
That's a breakdown.
Whose decision?
The man's decision that
It's
we're in a
not his decision.
relationship.
It's not his.
For what?
It seems like it
A
though.
lot of women do not know how to have the "what are we" conversation, and that's how situationships begin. There's because of a fear. Hey, I like you, and I want to.
You on the line.
This man is over here absorbing this shit up though. Feeling like I'm about to get all my shit together.
I might be going to go. I might be going to go.
No, you're right. You're correct. 100% on that, and I do feel.
So you feel like we
that,
should happen more? Is that what it is?
No.
It should. That
We should have that
conversation
combo
should
more.
happen a lot more. But we know that.
Do you know how to have it though?
For me,
That's the
I've
problem.
never had the convo before because I feel like it should be organic. Like in the two, and
most
actually, I'm sorry,
cases it
in the three relationships that I've had, I have never had to ask a man what we are. It happened organically and we were together. I've never had that convo. Sorry. Haters, that I haven't had that convo.
I mean
Are y'all
myself-
hating? Like,
in order for me
literally,
to
I have
actually
not.
consider a relationship, we have to sit down and we have to have that relationship
Right.
conversation.
Really?
So
It
now,
just for me, it just happened and
so
we were in a
now-
relationship.
So he chose you, but you didn't choose him.
No, we did. We chose each other. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm wrong.
we chose each other.
Just
Like,
realized that.
you know, I found out we were in a relationship when he asked me to come move in with him.
See?
But see now, but you see how that conversation happened? That's a different
But it wasn't
conversation.
a combo. It was
No.
just like, you know, we always together. You know, I'm always here or you're always in my house. So maybe you should
what
just
was the
come. And I was
timeline?
like, oh,
What was
okay.
that was
That literally was the conversation. Like,
No, it was the timeline. How long were y'all
Timeline.
together?
6 months.
What?
And we was
Red
together
flag.
for 3 years. Yeah.
And but wait. You know how many women?
And
but
then
wait,
after
wait,
that,
wait.
it happened about 7 months, and then we were together for 5 years.
But wait,
Okay.
you know how many women are thinking that way in a short amount of time, and with the dating and saying like relationship after a short amount of time, they probably didn't get a chance to learn that person. But a lot of women are thinking emotional. A lot of men are thinking logical, but we don't know who on the men's side is taking advantage of that also. So now, me myself, I feel that when I agree to a relationship, the dating process has already been done. I've already seen who you are. You've already seen who I am at this level, and then we sit down and we have an agreement about what we're going to commit to this. This is a verbal agreement, and now we
Wow,
need to talk
I've
about
never
what you
done that.
like and what you don't like. And I'm gonna talk to you about what I like and what I don't like, and we gonna have to come to a mutual agreement on the don't like.
But y'all didn't do that while y'all were dating?
We talk about it during the date, and we agreeing about it. This is
Now you in agree, like now you're making like a
we
verbal.
need to take relationships as if it's a contract. 'Cause
See,
guess
I
what?
did
Some
that once he
people-
fucked up. I went back and made a contract and was just like, look, nigga, we ain't
But
gonna
see,
do this no
you
more.
should have did that in the beginning. You should have found out what you like and what you don't like, and when he should have found out the same things about you, and then y'all needed to agree on that before y'all say I'm committed to you. Because guess what? If there's something that you don't like, and then it's in the 7th inning, and now you want to talk about you don't
That's why
like
those
it.
relationships didn't work out.
No,
How many
we
innings are in total?
there's nine.
Nine.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
So-
7 is we
So-
got like it's like two
Yo,
more innings,
yo.
two more innings for the game is over.
You
It's
know,
a wrap.
don't worry about it. Relationships, you know, don't worry. You eventually if you gotta sit there and you said you're gonna ride out with your man, you're gonna learn. So that you'll get it eventually. I just say you can't change up almost close to the middle or the end of the game. And you knew that this is what this person liked. You knew what you showed up
Can I
for.
get a specific example?
All right, so now we were just breaking down a show. I'm not gonna give them no plugs on our show, but we was breaking down a show, and a person started dating a person that actually they knew they were very materialistic, and then they wanted to talk about future building with that person, but that person was only thinking about the materialistic stuff and the actual gifts that they can get and the traveling they could do, and you knew who you started to date. If you got a problem with it now,
Yeah, it's too late.
it's too
It's
late.
too late.
Agreed.
You know, and now you're complaining about something that you knew about this person, and this is why I say that in the beginning parts of dating,
Take your time.
you need to know what cards you going to play with this person. If you don't like that right now, state it right now, because guess what? If you agree to get into a relationship or if you saying that you are gonna agree with what they do or you don't agree with what you do, and then you still get in a relationship with them, it is not that person's fault. It's more your fault because you knew what you didn't like about that
Agreed.
person, or you knew what you didn't like as in a person yourself.
So did you
And
figure this
now-
out after you got married?
See, after I got
Oh, wow.
now, so now to answer your question,
No, that's not no show. I'm
I'm
asking
gonna
because like,
be
was
honest.
it something that you learned, because of the situation that you had been through?
I learned this because of the situation that I've been through, and I learned that if I would have did a lot of this vetting process and did not fall for the fact that I was in love with the person, I had genuine
A
feelings for
person
the
that's
person.
not married don't have that experience, so it's not gonna
I-
move like
wait,
that.
wait, no.
He's you're,
I'm breaking down what
Go ahead.
I
I get it.
I evaluated for self. And if you, as a person, hear my story and you feel something off of it, you take whatever you want.
yeah.
But me, myself, I knew the person since we were in elementary school. We had little breaks due to the fact of how school works. You go to a different school, I go to a different school, but we known each other since we were children. And I looked at that, and then when I got to college, I ran into the person again. We went to the same school. I seen her that one time. I tried to meet her then, and then it didn't work out well for me. She didn't bite then. Years later, she bit. And then guess what? I took all of that, and I was actually woman crushing on her from that space
From elementary,
from the college space.
the college phase.
And I let all of that and the love I had for that person, the actual great vibe I had with that person, skip over all the red flags, skip over asking those questions.
Yo, you're
and
saying
now,
something so profound and so amazing. But I'm gonna let you finish because I want to add to it. But go ahead.
like
That's
you
perfect.
have to not let any of these things jump ahead of you asking these great questions that you need to know to get the answers that you need, because guess what? You don't want to have the problem 50 years later.
Correct.
Because 50 years later, and you went all the way, it doesn't make it if you did 1 year or you did 50. If you knew this is the person you married, this is the person you chose to be in a relationship with, if you'd have asked that question then, you would have actually learned what you needed to learn about that person up front.
Up front, facts.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, you guys dated for how long?
We dated for 3.5 years.
Okay, and you got married by the 3.5
For
years.
3.5 years,
Okay.
we got married, and we were married for another 3. We were together before the separation, 2 almost.
Got you. So he is speaking to the difference between I'm in love with you versus the I love you phase, right? The I'm in love with you happens during the first 1 to 3 years of a relationship. Like you're so in love with that person that you can't see life without them. You've already pictured what 50 years from now is going to look like. The endorphins, like your brain chemicals, is craving that person. Like you have a crush on that person. You're also not paying attention to the red flags. You're also not seeing the person for who they really are. Now, after that phase, it's called the falling out of love phase, which is going to happen and which is normal, right? And I know. I got you though. Trust me, right? At that phase, that's when your brain is no longer playing these tricks, and you get to see the person for who they really are. I get to see your shadows, right? Like when you're upset, how do you actually act? When we're in public and when we're in private, are you the same person, right? Yeah. Do I really love you, or can I deal with you for the rest of my life? And if the answer is yes, that leads to true love. Because I've accepted you for who you are, not who I've made you up to be, not my narrative of you, right? Mm-hmm. So people that get married between year 1 and 3 have the highest rate of divorce. Because once the fall out of love phase kicks in, they realize that, oh shit, I really don't love you. I can't deal with you. Everything about you annoys me. Now we're fighting and we have to get divorced.
You know, and another thing I want to add to that, I think people stop liking that person once they find out who they are.
Correct.
Right. And especially due to the fact that now we're in here and there's nowhere else to go, and now I really seen who you are, and I found the actual place where I said enough is enough. And I think a lot of people get to that point and they don't know how to accept it. There are people that can work through it, and there are people that can't.
Hashtag this pandemic has the highest rate of divorce. For once in life, couples have to be together.
They gotta deal with
Bro,
each other.
Listen, man, I would go to the grocery store like 20 times a day just so I could get a break.
How long have you been married?
We're together 9 years. We have been engaged for 3 years. The wedding has been pushed back due to the pandemic. But again, like, I've seen so many couples seeking therapy because for once, I don't like my partner.
Yeah, they didn't really get a chance to see who that person is.
He doesn't help with the kids. She don't do this. She's pissing me off and all of that. A lot of couples actually got to see each other and experience each other. Because when you have kids and you're working, you only spend 10% of your time together. Now you're spending 100% of that time together. Yo, my business went. I'll never be out of a job ever in life as a couples therapist. It's crazy.
So how about for the couples who evolved throughout the pandemic? What can you
It's
say?
amazing. It's amazing
To grow
yes.
and actually become better.
But he got it right. Like if the friendship is there, then we can last. We can spend
Be friends first.
There's 3 L's: like, love, and lust. I need to like my partner for who they are. I gotta enjoy spending time with you. Love. I need to really love you outside of the 1 to 2, 3 years. Lust. I gotta want you.
Yeah.
I gotta be sexually attracted to you. Right? So keep working out. Keep going out with your friends. Keep your goals. Keep your sexiness. Cause when I see you, I need to be attracted to you.
I
That's so important.
I want to
Do you
add
guys
to
have
that.
kids?
No, we don't have any kids.
Okay.
I want to add to that. Knowing the real definition of compatibility. Compatibility, if you really look it up, the definition is 2 things existing in one place without conflict. So now, the pandemic showed
That was dope.
that 2 people,
Nah, that was fire.
no matter how long they've been together,
Where the fuck is your sounds?
they can't exist in one place. Sometimes take the phone, take the internet, take the laptop,
Away.
take the TV, take the radio, take everything away, and put a couple. Can y'all enjoy each other?
That's
So
true.
he said an amazing thing, which
I like that, though.
Right.
I hate you.
the
Draymond
keyword is
Green.
conflict.
That's why I make sales.
I see you, Draymond.
You see,
Green. I
the
see
key
you.
word is conflict, not disagreements. He said conflict. Conflict means we're arguing, and it's negative. It's toxic. Disagreement is it's still love. It's just a tough conversation. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have a difference of opinion, but conflict is optional if you know how to communicate. Couples argue about the same thing 85% of the time. That's because they're arguing about the things that need to be managed and not solved. And they also don't know how to effectively communicate. There's a science to it.
Now, that's the one thing about communication is the existence of it and actually think that it's really happening. And a lot of people don't know how to communicate. They don't know when it's happening. They don't know how to use it to their advantage. And let
They're
me
talking,
also
but
put it
not communicating.
back to you. And if you know how to communicate properly with your friend, you will never do anything to disrespect your friend.
Never.
And nothing that your friend could say to you would disrespect you, and your friend would never disrespect you.
Correct.
Talk your shit, Draymond. Come on, man. Talk your shit.
Thank you.
It's 5 for 20
I even
right
got
now.
my-
Let's
I
go,
even-
5 for
Draymond.
20.
Talk your
I even
shit.
got your man feeling scared in the fourth quarter like you seen Jordan.
Listen.
Let's go, Draymond.
Listen.
Let's go.
96% of the time, the way you start a conversation is exactly how it's going to end.
Yeah.
The biggest myth in couples therapy is this idea that you need to listen to understand and not listen to reply. That's a fucking lie. That's not true, right? The key, like if
Comprehension
I
is a
walked up to you,
game.
right? And I punched you in your face, what would you do? You would do two things. One,
We fighting. We
you're
going
gonna
on.
punch
We fighting. There's no like.
you punching me back and you're defending yourself, which
Right.
means that we are fighting.
Right.
If I verbally punch you and attack you, what would you do?
Verbally
Yeah, I'm
attack
verbally.
you back.
Yes. So therefore, I cannot say you're not listening to understand because I assaulted you. You're defending yourself, and that's
Right.
human nature. A lot of advice is being given to robots and not humans. We're not taking the human nature concept into what we are saying. We're saying things that sounds great, but that's also not true. Again, 96% of the time, the way you start a conversation is exactly how it's going to end. So if I say you're selfish and you don't care about me, well, you're gonna say, well, 2 years ago I did this, or last year I did this, or last week I did that, and now we're having this globalized conversation versus the localized convo. In reality, what I'm trying to say is that, hey, babe, I don't feel seen. I don't feel like I get enough attention. I don't feel cherished. Then we can start building on that and actually reaching a solution.
So,
Yeah.
on that note, I'm gonna pass it to my partner.
I mean, well, you know, I mean, you heard it first. You know, we had some. I mean, it was dope. We had
is a great
Mac.
combo.
You know, it was a beautiful conversation. It's your boy Reposado Well, aka Fleon Sanders. You know, my team. Give it away. Talk that shit.
This is Lanice. This is so much better than last week.
No, yo, this was no. I'm not gonna lie, like you, you guys, yo.
Breath of fresh air.
This
Take every
this
show
episode-
with a grain of salt.
Like, yo, like, you came through.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate
Yo,
you.
you guys came through.
Drop that
Like,
Instagram again, too.
Flatbush Funds, we here. It's fucking political.
Tony Dre 605 on
Trayvon
Instagram. You know, it's Tony
Green.
Dre on everything else. Is DRAY. Obviously, I might have to come up with some new tags because obviously I got my man over here. He attacked the book. But still the greatest content creator that you've never met. And I made another sale. That's what I'm talking about. Support black businesses. No matter how my man came at it, he supported the book. Let's get it. And when he read it, I'm going to give him the open forum to holler back at me. We could do a live or something,
I got
and we
you.
could discuss things.
nah, yo, we gonna do
Passing
a
it
round
on.
two. Yeah, I feel a round two coming.
A
with this
round
right
two
here.
is
Yeah, I feel
guaranteed.
a round two. Game
Round
two.
Yeah.
Ask Miss Cassandra on Instagram. That's AskMS Cassandra CASSANDRA.
Yeah.
On Instagram, I am old school, so do not look for me on Facebook. Do not give me a second, y'all.
And again, I am Mac. You can find me on IG as Talk to Mac _ therapist. Talk the number 2 Mac MAC. If you're looking for couples therapy, you can find me on therapyisforeveryone.org. It is my private practice, and my goal is to destigmatize the idea of therapy in communities of color.
Wow.
And
So,
we out.
We out.
Fucking
Deuces.
political.